I know you've said you oppose the Common Core standards, but do you support any national education standards?
Of course we have to have standards. We need to know how our kids in North Carolina are matching up against the other states and other nations. What I oppose is a bureaucracy, the Department of Education, that was not created until 1980, after I graduated from high school, with 5,000 bureaucrats making on average $102,000 a year, stifling what teachers want to do in the classroom. The problem with Common Core is that teachers were being more worried about how they meet up to the standards than what they really want to do, pursuing their passion, educating the kids. Common Core, No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, all had strings attached to them. The federal government spends about 15% of our funding comes from the federal government, but the government is controlling the classroom. I want standards that make absolutely certain that our children are learning math and science and technology, engineering. But I also want to make sure that teachers feel like they're empowered to do what they have to do to educate these children. That's their passion. That's what they want to do, and they want government out of the way.
Senator Hagan.
George, once again, he did not answer your question. The Common Core was not put together by the Department of Education in Washington. It was put together by governors and by state, setting high expectations for students all across this country so that we could not only compete against one another within our states, but we would be more competitive on a global basis. But what Speaker Tillis has done, he's done tax cuts for the wealthy, and he has gutted our education system. He has cut $500 million from public education. And you know what that means, folks? That means fewer teachers in the classroom. That means larger classroom sizes. And that means outdated textbooks, if there's any textbooks at all. I can imagine the number of teachers that have told me, what textbooks? I was actually in Pinehurst recently. A third grader, a little girl from third grade, told me that she raises her hand every day in the classroom, and she's no longer called on because there's 32 students in her class. Speaker Tillis has gutted our education system.
A lot of times tonight you're going to hear Senator Hagan make that same claim, which has been proven false by fact checkers, by the News and Observer, by Washington media outlets. It's simply false. Since 2011, we're spending $1 billion more a year in education. This year, we provided an average 7% pay increase for teachers. We had to catch up the newer teachers because they were getting behind and we weren't competitive with our neighboring states. Next year, we're going to give them another 7% raise. That's what we're doing to turn education around. And the nonsense and the things that have been proven false really just distorts the argument that Senator Hagan's having. Senator Hagan needs to spend more time in North Carolina and understand the good things that we're doing for our teachers and our students.
You get the last word on this issue.
George, once again, Speaker Tillis is incorrect here. When we are now 48th in the nation, folks, on what we spend per pupil. So we might be spending more on education, but we have so many thousands more students, it's being diluted. And that 7% raise, I've talked to teachers, senior teachers who have been there 20-plus years, that are getting a 0.29% raise. He took away the longevity pay that's built in. Some teachers actually got an income cut. We need to do more for education because it is our entire future.